Hey guys, Mike here. So Palantir Technologies has everybody up in arms this morning, almost like panicking, trying to figure out what black swan event they are preparing for after revealing they purchased $51 million in actual gold bars. Yes, actual gold bars, which they'll be stored here somewhere in the United States. And so people are trying to figure out what this is, and what is the black swan event, what's going to happen. And so we're going to go through that, what a black swan event is, what it could be, that they're trying to predict, and more importantly, is there just a much simpler answer to this, which I tend to lean towards, and I'm going to try to actually put some information out there and prove that theory and see what you guys think, of course, okay? And before we get started, of course, don't forget, use that link down the bottom right there. Sign up for the new BlockFi credit card where you can earn crypto on all your purchases, and it has a $0 annual fee. And having said that, let's go ahead and get into what the heck is Palantir doing. So of course this headline hit yesterday, and it says Palantir buys 51 million in actual gold bars and will accept gold as a payment for their services. And then this is the statement that got everybody freaking out. It says Palantir Technologies Incorporated said it's preparing for another black swan event by stockpiling gold bars and inviting customers to pay for its data analysis software in gold. And for those who don't know, a black swan event is supposed to be something that's unpredictable and has a heavy or really terrible consequence, I should say. And so if you go down the list of it, you can say, the bombing at Pearl Harbor, 9/11, the dot-com bubble, the financial crisis, even some people put obviously the pandemic here when we crashed last year and all the fallout from that. And so, and shutting down the world with some of the consequences there. And so, they're preparing for this black swan event, supposedly. Who knows what that is? And, of course, this leads everybody to start speculating and coming up with conspiracy theories and all this stuff, just like you see right here.
It feels kind of like CIA-ish. Like I mean, if you think about also that, at least the relationship that this company has had with the government, and where gold has always been, this strategic reserve dynamic. And
right.
Look, gold prices. This isn't a conversation about gold, but it's probably an interesting time to be making a longer-term commitment to gold, in my view. I realize, Bitcoin enthusiasts say, why bother? I think gold is proven to be very much a hedge against central banks here.
Guy, give me your best conspiracy theory.
Notice they didn't buy the gold ETF. They bought actual physical
bars
gold bars.
Gold.
It's fascinating. Yeah. There's no listen, I mean, I could talk about this for an hour and we only have a minute left, but I would say this is one of those days you bookmark. This is them saying, central banks are out of control, black swan event, good for them.
And of course, it's the connections with the CIA, all the other governments around the world that their software is integrated in. Obviously, they're connected to the financial sector. Their software is used there as well. And so all this data they're collecting, who knows what black swan event they might be preparing for. I think it'll get a lot of people guessing. I personally think, though, that the explanation is much simpler than that and requires no conspiracy theory whatsoever. Don't forget, guys, Peter Thiel, one of the co-founders, founded his own hedge fund. Don't forget Alex Karp, CEO and founder, founded a money management firm over in London. These guys are well versed in the financial world. Okay, they know what's going on. They obviously have Palantir's software and everything, and everything they do at their disposal to be able to come up with predictions from their AI software and stuff like that. And so what I think the simple explanation is, sure, maybe there's going to be a black swan event, maybe, but I think they're just making a very smart investment. That's what they're doing, right? And so the reason for this is, and I've dug through trying to find interviews or something I can show to you for somebody who explains it so much better than I can. And I finally found this interview, and this kind of makes me believe that this is exactly why Palantir made this investment.
The gold market are operating a bit of a vacuum, right? So we've seen a big sell-off in gold as investors have gotten worried that the Fed is going to intervene, either taper or raise interest rates quicker than the market thought. But if you fall through that thought process logically, so you hammer gold $100 because you feel interest rates have a chance of going higher sooner, the stock market's currently trading at a record high valuation, like nosebleed valuation. Stock market, bonds, real estate, any pretty much asset class you look at is at record high values. And that's all being underpinned by record low interest rates. The discount rate of zero in any financial model will allow an infinity in terms of valuations. So the same investors that are selling gold or hammering gold because they fear that rates are going higher should actually be unloading all their equities, their bonds, and their real estate if they believe that's what's actually going to happen. And they're not doing that. So there's a real inconsistency in the market. So for me as an investor, that provides a major opportunity. Either gold is going much higher from here, or stocks, bonds, and real estate are going much lower. So I'd rather be long gold equities than the latter, because those have not felt any pain yet from this perceived fear that market is seeing in the gold market.
And before we move on any further on the macro side, let's take a look at this chart. This shows the gold versus S&P 500. So you got the GLD over the SPY as a ratio. What does this chart tell you?
Yeah, so I'm a contrarian investor by heart. I think you make multiples of your money or significant outsized returns on your money when you go against the herd, right? So this chart tells you 16-year chart. Gold has never been this cheap versus the S&P 500 in the last 16 years. And obviously since 2008, the market's pretty much gone nothing but up since the financial crisis. So that ratio has gotten wider and wider and wider over time. So 1 unit of gold will buy you the smallest amount of stocks that's ever bought in the last 16 years. So that ratio typically mean reverts when the market corrects. So if I'm right about my thesis that if rates go up, the market's going way down, well, that ratio is going to revert either by the market falling dramatically and gold holding its value, or gold appreciating significantly while the market goes flat. That's the chart telling you there's a big valuation gap or big spread between gold and the market that you haven't seen in the last 16 years.
And that interview is from Kitco News, you can see, and I'll put the link down the bottom. It's about a 30-minute interview, and it's really good. I watched the whole thing, so I recommend it. And they go into a lot more than just talking about gold, okay? And so, you know, is it that simple? That it's just a good investment? That's what their data's telling them, that they're maybe just betting against the dollar, betting on inflation. And so maybe that's what they're trying to do here instead of just having cash, or they have a lot of cash on hand right now, and they realize just having that cash just sitting there, so we're talking about billions of dollars in cash, you know, that maybe they're afraid it's going to lose value. Purchasing power is what I'm talking about. So why not go out and buy gold? And even if it just maintains its value over the next 3 to 5 months as we kind of get through whatever's about to happen in the stock market, if there is a correction or something, then the gold didn't lose any of its buying power, right? That's why they're saying pay us in gold. We'll take gold for our services. So obviously they have a bullish theme on gold, and maybe that's what it is. You know, I don't know what the Black Swan event could be. Who knows? Again, it's supposed to be something you can't predict, so we'll see if they can predict it with their AI technology or whatever. But I personally think it's just a solid investment for them. I think also watch out for them to start buying crypto. You know, I'll be shocked if they're not buying Bitcoin or something else here in the next 6 months. But if you look at even their other investments, you know, this is you can tell their founders have an investment background as well, because, you know, look how many SPAC mergers they bought, right? Lots of money investing in these SPACs because, one, they become customers, and two, they're buying them cheap as dirt right now, right? I mean, some of these are below $10, and they realize down the road, 5, 10 years, however they're holding that stock, those companies they've invested in are probably going to be worth a lot more. You know, the question is how nobody knows how they're going to carry this in their balance sheet or account for it and stuff. So we'll have to figure that one out in the next quarter's earnings and stuff. But, you know, and also see if somebody actually did pay them in gold for their services. You know, wouldn't that be interesting? So anyway, that's where I think we're at. You know, let me know in the comments what you think, or if you had to guess what the Black Swan event is they're talking about, and stuff like that. So hope you got something out of it, guys. Hit that like, subscribe button if you did. Don't forget to use that link down the bottom there. Open your account with BlockFi. Earn interest on your cryptocurrencies up to 7.5% on your Stablecoin right now. Much better than a savings account and all that with that interest. And open loans. And, of course, get that BlockFi credit card and start earning interest on all your purchases. Have a great day, guys. See you tomorrow.